Hey there, I'm Sapa, 32 years old and juggling a career as a marketing executive while raising two wonderful kids, Amy, who's 6, and Ethan, who's 4. My husband Mark and I have been married for 8 years, living in our cozy suburban home, complete with a white picket fence. It's a typical Tuesday morning and I'm rushing to get the kids ready for school. Mark's already left for work, so it's all on me today. Amy, sweetie, have you seen your backpack? I ask, a little frazzled. Grandma Evelyn put it by the door, Mom, she answers. I sigh. Evelyn, my mother-in-law, means well, but sometimes I feel like she's silently competing with me for the title of best mom. Just then, my phone buzzes. It's a text from my best friend, Lena. Girl, how do you do it all? You're like a supermom. I laugh quietly to myself as I reply, trust me, it's not as perfect as it seems. With that, I hustle the kids into the car and head off to school. Later at work, I'm deeply immersed in developing a new marketing campaign when my coworker, Jake, appears at my cubicle. Hey Sapa, got a minute? I could use your input on this proposal. Jake's new to the team, but he's quickly become someone I can rely on. We chat for a bit about the project, and then he asks, how's the family? I smile. Oh, chaos as usual. That evening, Evelyn drops by with some homemade lasagna. As she sets it on the counter, she casually remarks, I noticed Amy's room was a bit untidy earlier, so I tidied it up for you. I feel a wave of annoyance but manage to smile. Thanks, Evelyn. You really didn't have to. Oh, it's no trouble, she replies with a sweet tone that has an edge to it. I know how busy you are with work and everything. After she leaves, Mark comes home. He gives me a quick peck on the cheek and asks, Mom stopped by. Yeah, she brought dinner. I say, that was nice of her. Maybe we should ask her to watch the kids more often so you can get a break, he suggests. I tense up. I can handle it, Mark. We agreed on how we wanted to raise the kids, I say, feeling defensive. He raises his hands in surrender. Just a suggestion, Sapa. No need to get worked up. As I'm tucking Amy in that night, she looks up at me with big, innocent eyes and asks, Mommy, do you like your job more than us? My heart skips a beat. Of course not, sweetie. Why would you think that? She shrugs, just wondering. I kiss her goodnight, but her question lingers in my mind long after she falls asleep. My life looks perfect on the surface, but I can't shake the feeling that there are cracks forming beneath. The next morning at breakfast, I notice something off. Amy and Ethan are unusually quiet, pushing their cereal around. What's up, kiddos? You're awfully quiet this morning, I ask. Amy mumbles, nothing. Are you sure? Did you have fun with Grandma Evelyn yesterday? I press. Ethan chimes in. Grandma said you don't like spending time with us. My heart sinks. What? That's not true at all. Why would she say that? I ask, stunned. Amy looks at me with wide eyes. Then why are you always working? Later, I confront Mark. Did you hear what your mom told the kids? She's making them think I don't want to spend time with them. Mark rolls his eyes. Come on, Sapa. You're blowing this out of proportion. Mom's just trying to help, he says dismissively. Frustrated, I call Lena. Girl, that's messed up, she says, clearly shocked. Your mother-in-law is playing mind games with you. I know, I reply, feeling torn, but Mark won't listen. Lena's voice is firm. Maybe you should install some cameras and catch her in the act. I hesitate. Isn't that a bit extreme? Trust your gut, Sapa. Something isn't right here, she insists. At work, I confide in Jake during lunch. Well, that's intense, he says, wide-eyed. What are you going to do? I sigh. I honestly don't know. I feel like I'm going crazy. Jake shakes his head. You're not crazy. Your instincts are telling you something for a reason. Taking Lena's advice, I discreetly install a few nanny cams around the house. It feels a little wrong, but I need to know the truth. A few days later, I'm outside when I overhear Evelyn chatting with our neighbor Karen. Poor Mark, Evelyn says. Stuck with a wife who's more concerned with her career than her family. Karen gasps, no. Sapa seems so devoted to her kids. Evelyn sighs dramatically. Appearances can be deceiving, dear. I clench my fists, fighting the urge to confront her right then and there. That evening, as I'm sorting laundry, Mark's phone rings. Mark stepped out onto the patio, but I could still hear bits of his conversation. Yeah, Mom, I know, we'll figure it out. Sapa doesn't suspect anything. My blood ran cold. What were they hiding from me? The next day, Amy came home from school with a drawing. It was our family, but I was drawn standing far away from everyone else. What's this, sweetie? I asked, trying to keep my voice steady. It's us. Grandma said you might go away for work and not come back, she replied. I fought back tears. That's not true, Amy. I'm not going anywhere. She just shrugged and walked off. I couldn't take it anymore. I needed answers. That night, after the kids were asleep, I opened the nanny cam footage. What I saw made my heart stop. There was Evelyn, sitting with my children, her voice low but sharp. Your mommy works so much because she doesn't want to be with you. But don't worry, I'll always be here. I watched horrified as Evelyn stroked Amy's hair and whispered, Mommy spends a lot of time with that Jake from work, doesn't she? My blood boiled. How dare she say something like that? I fast-forwarded, my fingers trembling, and caught another clip of Evelyn with Ethan. Sweetie, Mommy might go away for a long time. But don't worry, Grandma will always take care of you. I slammed the laptop shut, shaking with rage. I stormed into the bedroom, where Mark was reading. We need to talk. Now, he looked up, startled. What's wrong? I shoved the laptop at him. Watch this. Your mother is poisoning our kids against me. As he watched the footage, his face went pale, not with shock, but with guilt. You knew, I said, my voice breaking. It wasn't a question. Mark sighed, running his hand through his hair. Sapa, it's complicated. Complicated? I shouted. Your mother is telling our children that I don't love them. Look, Mom was just trying to prepare them, he said, standing up, his voice cold. Prepare them for what? For when you leave us for that coworker of yours, he replied, the words hitting like a slap. I stared at him stunned. What are you talking about? I'm not leaving anyone. Mark scoffed. Oh, come on, Sapa. I've seen how close you and Jake are. He's a friend and a colleague, nothing more. How could you even think that? He looked away, because that's what happens. People get close at work, and families fall apart. Suddenly, it clicked. Is that what happened with you and your secretary, Lisa? His silence was all the confirmation I needed. How long? I demanded. 6 months, he mumbled. I felt like the ground had been ripped out from under me. So you and your mother cooked up this scheme to make me the villain and get custody of the kids. My voice was shaking with fury. Mark had the decency to look ashamed. Mom thought it would be easier on the kids if they believed you'd already abandoned them. Easier? I spat. You're destroying their trust in me. You're ruining their sense of security. I was shaking with anger. I can't believe you let this happen. I didn't mean for it to go this far, Mark said, reaching for me. I backed away. Don't touch me. I can't even look at you right now. I turned to leave, but he grabbed my arm. Where are you going? I yanked my arm free. To check on our kids, someone needs to make sure they know they're loved. I found Amy and Ethan playing quietly in Amy's room. Their little faces broke my heart. Hey, munchkins, can we talk? They looked at me warily. Is it true you're leaving us? Ethan asked in a small voice. I pulled them both into a tight hug. No, baby, I'm not going anywhere. I love you both more than anything in this world. But Grandma said, Amy started. Grandma was wrong, I said firmly. I will always be here for you, no matter what. As I held my children close, I knew one thing for certain. This wasn't over. I had a fight ahead of me, for my kids, for the truth, and for justice against those who tried to tear us apart. The next morning, I called Lena and Jake to fill them in on everything. We met up at a cafe to figure out what to do next. Girl, we need to take these snakes down, Lena said, slamming her fist on the table. Jake nodded in agreement. I've got a buddy who's a private investigator. He might be able to dig up some dirt on Evelyn. I smiled weakly. Thanks, guys. I don't know what I'd do without you. Over the next week, we uncovered a gold mine of information. Evelyn had a long history of meddling in Mark's relationships, driving away any girlfriends she didn't approve of. She'd even sabotaged his college romance by spreading rumors that the girl had cheated. Armed with this, I met with a lawyer, Sarah, who reviewed everything we had gathered. This is strong evidence, Sapa, Sarah said, flipping through the files. We can definitely use this in court. What should I do next? I asked. Document everything. Every conversation. Every interaction with your kids. We're building a case, she replied. I nodded, determined. I'm ready. The perfect opportunity came during a family barbecue. Everyone was there: Mark's siblings, cousins, even his father. Evelyn, as usual, was basking in the attention, doting on the kids. I took a deep breath, bracing myself, and stepped into the center of the gathering. "Everyone, I have something to say," I announced, my voice steady. The chatter stopped, and all eyes turned to me. Evelyn eyed me suspiciously. "For months now, Evelyn has been poisoning my children against me," I said, my voice ringing with clarity. "She's been telling them that I don't love them, that I might abandon them." Gasps and murmurs rippled through the crowd. Evelyn shot up from her seat, her face flushed with anger. "How dare you? I've done nothing but help this family." I pulled out my phone and, with a calmness I didn't feel, played the nanny cam footage. Her own voice, clear as day, filled the air, telling my children lies, manipulating their innocent hearts. The color drained from Evelyn's face. Mark leaped to his feet. "Sapa, stop this. You're embarrassing everyone." I turned to him, my eyes blazing with fury. "Oh, I'm embarrassing you? How about we tell everyone about your affair with Lisa?" The crowd erupted in shock. Mark's father looked like he might collapse from the revelation. "You've been cheating on Sapa," he bellowed. Mark stammered, trying to explain, but I wasn't done. And Evelyn knew. She helped him plan to take the kids away from me. They were going to make me look like the bad one. Evelyn tried to regain control, her voice shaking. "Now everyone, let's calm down. I'm sure we can work this out as a family." Mark's sister stood up, her voice cutting through the chaos. "Work what out? The fact that you've been manipulating everyone for years? I always knew something wasn't right with you." The gathering exploded into chaos. Mark and Evelyn tried to defend themselves, but the evidence was undeniable. One by one, family members came to me, offering support and apologizing for ever doubting me. In the weeks that followed, everything changed. I filed for divorce and fought for full custody. The nanny cam footage was damning in court. Mark lost his job when his company found out about the affair with Lisa. Evelyn's reputation in the community was shattered. A year later, I sat in my new apartment watching Amy and Ethan play. We had been through therapy together, rebuilding trust and understanding after everything that had happened. My phone buzzed. It was Mark, begging once again to see the kids. "No, Mark," I said, my voice steady. "The court order is clear: supervised visits only." I hung up the phone just as Lena and Jake arrived for our weekly dinner. "How are you holding up, champ?" Jake asked, giving me a warm hug. I smiled, truly happy for the first time in ages. "We're doing great. The kids are adjusting well, and I just got promoted at work." Lena raised her glass. "To new beginnings and kicking toxic people to the curb." We clinked glasses, laughing. As I looked around at my true family, my children and my loyal friends, I knew that we were going to be okay. We were stronger now, wiser, and free from the manipulation that had almost torn us apart. The road ahead was bright, and we were ready to face it together. The story of Sapa's journey through betrayal and triumph has come to an end. Now, here's a question for you. If you were in Sapa's shoes, could you ever forgive Mark and Evelyn for their manipulation? Or do you believe some actions are truly unforgivable? Share your thoughts in the comments below. Your perspective could help someone going through a similar situation. If this story resonated with you, don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe to the channel for more compelling real-life dramas. Your support helps us bring these important stories to light. Thanks for watching, and remember, you're stronger than you know.